Please, listen! Oh, is that the delegates down in the pit?
Enough! I've had my fill of... What's this? Steady, men. Our guest has arrived.
The Iron Flail Commander is a younger man, lean in build. His brown hair is unkempt, his eyes fevered. At his feet is a grate, set over what appears to be a pit. You hear a smattering of anxious cries, rising up from the cell as the commander steps forward.
All that chaos outside. For an instant, I believed you, woman.
His boot comes down hard on the grate.
You make a sinister assassin, godlike. I'll give you that much.
I'd prefer to settle this peacefully if I can.
I'm sure you would, now that you're here. You want to talk? Set down your...
Adaric's words die in his throat, his expression frozen mid-snarl. It isn't clear what's happened, not until you start to feel it too. Oh, it's another vision! We're both having visions! Unbidden, your senses drift, as if you had reached out towards a source of essence. You feel an ache in your chest, an almost painful sensation of being pulled forward. A sudden wave of memories floods your mind, clears the day they formed. You see Odima's campfire, ravaged by the bivouac, the halls of Kaednua. In the caverns beneath the keep, the stone around you bellows warnings in a dead language. Deeper still, a fanged maw parts like a wound in the world. The images wash over you, tracing lives and emotions from 100 different times and places. Not all are your own. Slowly, you become aware of the sensation of being watched. Oh, so is he like watching my memories and I'm about to watch his? Reach out. You direct your senses, tracing the invasion to its source, Adaryc. Conviction burns through him, bright as a brazier. So is he a watcher too? Is that what we're getting here? For an instant you share in his emotion, and a sourceless desperation rattles about your skull. Absent context, the fragments of memory you see are just images. A small house across a field of vibrant purple flowers. A sea of armored kith and flapping banners, waiting on your command. There's an uncomfortable moment when you feel your twinned awareness turning in on itself, and then the connection is severed. Adaryc looks startled, his face ashen. Well, I guess you weren't expecting that.
You're the Watcher at Kaednua? They said he was a senile hermit.
Merwold is dead. Kaednua is mine now.
Why have you come? Why now?
I came to find out what happened to the delegates.
The delegates? You tore through my camp, killed my men for them?
I would have done things another way if I could have. But your men wouldn't let me in.
You could have turned around. If not for the delegates, all of this could have been avoided. Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous.
Adaryc paces a few steps before he gets a hold of himself.
But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
I would speak to the people who have seen these wild visions to compare notes.
Good idea. A shrill voice suddenly rises up from the pit, very distantly, I might add. Adaryc stomps down angrily on the bars, drowning her out. You don't think you overreacted just a little?
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains. They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else. I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me?
He looks down at the grate of the cell, eyes flashing with sudden anger. Perhaps you and I can talk now.
You're nothing more than a mercenary, for a village of people unwilling to put their own lives on the line.
Oh, this is gonna end badly, isn't it? What do you want with Stalwart anyway?
With a village of fishermen, nothing. but they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them. Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons. With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass.
Against what?
Adaryc has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing.
He looks at a deer, jaw working.
We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act.
Did he recognize a deer?
There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and come for Adaryc.
Adaric's gaze is distant.
The iron flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear.
Ooh, we have an intellect option here. Between the Duke's assassination and the Holborn crisis, Deerwood's a little preoccupied.
So I believed. Hoped, maybe. But that only means they're angry. They'll look for someone to blame, an enemy to fight.
Darian mentioned you had a vision.
Let the fools at Stalwart mock me all they wish. I know what I saw. If they had seen the same, they'd understand. I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher.
Well, I had a vision too. In mine, I saw Caed Nua reduced to rubble by an army that shook the earth. Doubt creases Adaric's brow. His men exchange looks, waiting tensely for orders.
Why would they turn on their own? No. You're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction.
Oh, maybe someone is, like, playing both sides? Making us have vision somehow? I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake.
Why should I believe any of this? You would say anything at all to protect Stalwart.
Well, you read my soul. What did that tell you?
That you're soft-hearted, but it hasn't seemed to stop you. And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed.
We both know something's coming. Maybe two Watchers can figure out how to stop it. For several moments, there's nothing but silence in the cabin. A ripple of soul energy moves through the air, and you hear the scrape of metal as Adaryc hefts his blade.
We are nothing without our faith, and even you can't lead me astray. I'm sorry, Watcher, but I know this is the right path.
Well, that sucks. Let's see what you have here. You have an archer in the back, a warlock, and a votarist. And a champion. Let's go for you with you. You can take care of the champion if you can. I wonder why these don't replenish. That is kind of a weird thing. I haven't seen that since part 1, basically. It would have been usable. And you, Mancha, you can go for... you and Zahua go for the warlock. Alana and Zagani go for the votarist. And that should do it.
Hey.
Oh, you too. Itumak, you can go for the archer. Try to keep him busy. Alana, now's the time for insects. Can we get a good shot off here? We can get those 3 or those 2. Or these 4. Perfect. Oh, the archer died. That's fine, that's fine. And down goes Adaryc. Whew, that was not a hard fight at all, but I wish we could have solved that peacefully. I'm not sure if there was an option for that. Alana was granted Severed the Soul. What is that? Alana? The Watcher targets the very essence of a creature with their next attack, bypassing the target's defenses and leaving them weakened. That's pretty good. Now let's see what these suckers had. Ooh. Steadfast. A soul-bound sword. Exceptional, will +5, resolve +1. I will take it. And you also had Black Warden's Breast. Corrode Proof. Aura of the Hunt. What is that? Plus 15 accuracy against beasts. Well, beasts aren't that common, so I'll keep that for selling. Oh, that is a nice looking helmet, but it's kind of useless because it's not magic.
Alright then.
You keep your britches on down there. I'm gonna go through all this loot first. You better have patience. I hope that none of these are trapped. They shouldn't be, since they're in the commander's office. I'm not sure why he would like to trap things. That seems very inefficient. Alright. Let's do a quick save. And then free the delegates. Oh, thank you! I thought we'd never get out of there! Are you hurt? No, a little bruised perhaps. The cold was the worst part. I mean, this looks kind of toasty. Very nice, but I guess this is like sunken into the ground. It's colder there. Abaddon, bless your blade. I thought that madman would kill us all. The commander wasn't the problem. One of the delegates points an accusing finger at another, a woman standing apart from the rest. We might have come to terms if she hadn't goaded him, shouting at him about omens and curses, demanding he leave the march. You know how superstitious the Raid Sarens are. The commander went white as a sheet. She sabotaged the meeting. The woman in question is dressed in unassuming robes. She bears the accusations silently, her eyes closed as if in prayer. Care to explain yourself? With desperate speed, the woman suddenly lunges sidelong towards a nearby rack and seizes the dagger lying there. She sets the blade to her own throat. Oh. She must be some sort of fanatic. Unseen to all but yourself, the dying woman's soul essence coils in thin wisps about her body. It only grows brighter as her corpse stills. The remaining delegates stare in horror at her pooling blood. Maneha kneels by the dying woman and inspects her robes. She examines a crescent medallion hanging around the woman's neck. Oh, is she a, Ondra fanatic? What just happened? Damn it! Now we'll never get an answer out of her. Don't be so sure. Step aside, peons. You reach out and brace against the sudden flare of pain and fear, digging after less recent events. There is a copper taste in your mouth and a pain-like fire in your throat. Under the brute terror of death, you find a comforting thread of resolve, of satisfaction and duty fulfilled. You follow it. It leads you stumbling into another memory, as whole as vivid as the first. You walk the dark halls of an abbey, dimly lit and quiet, your footsteps loud. A blur, and you're standing in a dimly lit room, facing a robed Amawa. You recognize him as Kaoto. Kaoto? The High Abbot. He beckons you forward. Examine surroundings first. We might have to get like clues to find this place, and I think it might be the abbey we had found for Maneha. You are in a wide, rounded chamber. The tiles beneath your feet are covered in strange, curling symbols. You recognize them as symbols of Ondra, goddess of sea and memory. The memory blurs. When your sight is clear, you are standing in front of Kaoto, and he is smiling gently down at you.
Drive the Raid Sarens from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives. The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Eyeless in my stead. If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do. I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Andra's favorite in her keeping.
The worst jar you lose from the memory, flinging you back into the moment of the woman's death, and then into your own skin. But traces of her memory joins yours. You know the path to the abbey to which she was to return, buried in the mountains to the north. Do any of you know what a Tidebringer is? I might as well not point fingers just yet, that might lead to like a religious prosecution. Don't want that. Tidebringer? That's something they used to talk about at the Temple of Andra, I think. It's a person. A title, I mean. Tends to be used in the more, devout circles. How about a Kyoto? Kyoto? Oh yes. He came through town some time ago. Stopped by at the temple in Stalwart. This was after the town decided to rededicate it to Abaddon. He didn't seem too pleased about it. He was dressed like a priest. Maybe he took offense. He's an Maua, tall fellow, very polite considering he's apparently the leader of some fanatical sect. I think it's clear we haven't been the best judges of character recently. What about the eyeless? Have you heard of them? The eyeless? They're a figure of speech, for when you can't remember something. You say, must be the eyeless took it from me. Yes, but there is a story to it. They're supposed to do the bidding of the Lady of Lament. Andra points and they come, out of nowhere, wipe things from the face of the world. That's why whenever something's up and goes missing or gets destroyed with no one there to see it, you're supposed to thank Andra that the Isles didn't come for you too. Oh, everything is coming together now. So maybe these eyeless were the people or the things that took down Durgan's battery in part 1? I was kind of thinking it was servants of Abaddon because of the dream we had in the beginning. But I guess Durgan's battery was like a shrine of Abaddon to begin with. So maybe there's like a conflict between Andra and Abaddon that we are caught in between. Do you know anything about an abbey to the north? I've heard of something like that. An Andrite stronghold. Not the kind of place that welcomes visitors. That sounds like the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Is that where she came from? The delegate points to the dead woman. Yes. And it's where I'll find the reliquary so I can call off their army. Wait, another one? Gods, it feels like everyone on Eora is after the battery now. Why would these Andrites want the raid Sarans out? I doubt it's for Stalwart's benefit. Competition, maybe? They're up to something and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. If you do mean to go to this abbey, be careful. There have been stories about traders wandering north and getting scared off or even killed by strange guards. That's the place, alright. They're a secretive bunch. I suppose you could always try to sneak in? I doubt you'll be welcome otherwise. It sounds like this Tidebringer would be welcome, I mean. Oh, maybe I can convince them I'm the Tidebringer. I hope so. I imagine the abbey is heavily guarded. A sudden deafening crash from outside makes the delegate jump, startled. A rumbling like thunder follows. You hear further sounds of smashing timbers, panicked screaming. Oh no, what's happening? I thought you took care of the soldiers. I did. This is something else. Yes, well, we'll wait here. Inside. Holy shit, what is going on out there? We will have to find out. However, that is going to be a tale for another day. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.